In this series, we talk to some of Adelaide's best marketing experts and business owners about what works with marketing. We even get some of their secrets too. Welcome to Inside Marketing. Hugh from Bickford is joining us today. And Hugh, thanks for coming to chat with us.
My pleasure.
Can you tell me a little bit about what your role is at Bickford's?
Okay, so I'm Senior Brand Manager at Bickford's Australia. So I look after the Bickford side of the business at the Bickford's group of companies. Everyone knows the cordial, the juices and so on, but we also have Voc beverages that look after our spirits, wines, as well as our ready
make booze?
We make booze in McLaren Vale, in Renmark, up in Beenleigh in Queensland.
Wow.
Good booze too.
So it's such a long history and beautiful company, but what are some of the most, successful marketing stories that you have in your time at Bickford's?
Our owner's philosophy is he picks brands from companies that haven't really given them much love and turns them around by giving them the right amount of attention, putting some marketers and sales teams behind them to give them a bit of energy. Certainly Bickford's is a success story. When Angelo took over Bickford's in the early 90s, we sold around 14,000 cases that year. 2 decades later, we're selling 14,000 cases in one production run. So you can appreciate the scale of the growth came from a focus on giving Australians what they want, which is quality, local made products. Some other good success stories, if I think about it, we just recently launched Bickford & Sons, which is a premium range of soft drinks, because we're in a category that's declining. People are getting tired of Coke, tired of Schweppes. So if you want something, you want to know it's good quality, you want to know where it's from a brand you can trust. And we've launched our Bickford & Sons mixers and sparkling range, and they are going great guns, especially here in South Australia.
What are some of the things that you do in your marketing mix that have been successful?
I guess we often don't follow the main trends, so we don't significantly invest above the line. We're very tactical.
I mean, one of the campaigns that we've seen recently is the ordinary to the extraordinary. Can you tell me what was in the marketing mix for that?
Bickford's is all about transformation. We take mundane situations and boring products and make them that little bit special. So instead of a boring glass of water, some plain milk or another glass of juice, we make it that special moment, that moment of release and enjoyment that you just don't get with a kind of regular or a budget brand. For us, that was a campaign where we went above the line with TV, and we've also been able to do some fantastic deals with outdoor groups where we can get our outdoor media across the nation using distress rates, so we get a lot more value. You'll pay top dollar if you tell the agency that you want it at a specific time in a specific place. If you're willing to wait and the outdoor agency tells you, I'm happy, I've got some unsold inventory, we'll put your product up here, can you provide your creative? You get it at a fraction of the cost. So for that, a lot of people, it's an effective way to get out there.
Tell me a little bit about your digital marketing.
Digital marketing is very important for us. We have very loyal consumers, and in fact, it's a fantastic way through digital to be very targeted and very cost effective with your spend versus say outdoor or TV that's very broad and kind of a scattergun approach. I've got a good example, in fact. We just posted a picture only last week. We're giving away 6 gift hampers. They would have cost us no more than $200. We have now had over 45,000 impressions, so people viewing that. 880 entries as of today, and 500 people have shared it. Simply because we keyed into something. It's a simple product, but it's a very easy way to enter online. We talk about something that is really dear to people. We ask them to talk about what does Australia Day mean to them. Really effective way to get significant reach from very small investment versus a big outdoor campaign or a big TV campaign.
And how are you getting them to enter that? Going to your website?
Well, the big part was about building a fan base. You can buy fans very easily, but we've always focused on buying engaged, targeted fans. So that the people that we have about 45,000 likes, and we've built that up from about 8,000.
And this is on Facebook?
3 years ago. This is all on Facebook at the moment. But because they're so engaged, when we put something out there that talks to them, the response is significant.
So just stepping right, that's 8,000 to 45,000 in 3 years on Facebook. That's pretty impressive. Well done. 2
ways to do that. You can buy fans with Facebook, but you can also, we've actually bought a lot of fans in Southeast Asia by literally getting the advert in front of them, and you pay for that and Facebook pays you for that service. But those fans quickly disappear if you're not engaging with them. And in Australia, it's the same thing. So it's ensuring the content is there. We know that they love competitions. We know that they love interaction. So ensuring that the posts are relevant and not just constantly on brand, shouting, buy me, buy me, buy me, more. Here's an interesting website we saw the other day, we thought you might like it, or it's summer Have you thought about this interesting mocktail using a Bickford's product? But also just having a wide mix to keep them engaged once we've got them on board.
Yeah, fantastic. How do you conduct your market research?
There's a number of ways. I'll give two examples. One is via social media, because we have such engaged fans. When we were looking at updating our diet range, sugar consciousness is growing. People are very concerned and very aware of the sugar in their diet. Our diet range wasn't up to scratch. We wanted to upgrade it, but we had a few ideas for recipes. We wanted to know which direction to go. The consumer hierarchy, in a sense, when they're making a decision, what was the first thing they looked for, second and third? How did we do that? We went to Facebook. We asked our fans, we said, are you a diet cordial consumer? If so, we'd love you to take part in this SurveyMonkey survey, a free survey software anyone can use. We then went into there and asked them 10 quick questions, but we had to ask them in such a way that if our competitors were monitoring and asked them, that they wouldn't get a clue as to the direction we're going. So we made them fairly broad and fairly diverse in the nature. But from that, we got very clear direction for our new products.
And tell me a little bit about, I guess, partnerships with Bickford's.
Partnerships are a way we get our brand in front of consumers who haven't seen it so far. It's also a fantastic way for them to trial the product without the risk of having to purchase and then, that concern, if I purchase a whole bottle and I don't like it, well, I'm going to be unhappy. A big one for us was the Qantas partnership. So we worked with them on developing their own range of Qantas flavoured cordials. They wanted something a bit different, so we had to develop their own bespoke range of flavours in consultation with them. So we worked with them for about 3 months and came up with a product that you'll see over my shoulder there that was able to not only fit on board, but was able to get our product into the hand of every person flying a Qantas international flight. And it gives us a lot of confidence to know right now in the air a number of our products being served to passengers.
So looking forward to the year ahead, what are some of the biggest challenges that you can see with marketing?
Certainly there's a couple. From a general marketing perspective, the fact that diversification of TV continues, the fragmentation, the ability to get on TV onto the 3 channels in front of a mass audience is now much harder and much more expensive. So you have to look elsewhere for above the line to be effective. And the other part is probably digital, which is the pace of change. Every time there's a trend, every time someone gives you a tip, by the time you're onto it, it's probably moved on. So keeping up to date with the digital media and the rate of change, and certainly the fragmentation of TV, are two of the big challenges we're finding for building brand and getting that mass awareness that used to be so much easier.
You get inspiration from lots of different places, I imagine, and I imagine also that you need to stay abreast of what's new, what's happening. How do you learn and how do you keep on top of things?
You've got to stay sharp, there's no denying that. For me, industry mags are really important. I spent a couple of years in the UK and the Marketing Weekly magazine over there became my Bible. It came out every week. I was able to read that and see the little trends, the little what the major blue chip brands were doing, what the small innovative little guys were doing. And you only need a few lines of each of those stories to really get a feel and to see some insights on what some of the more creative and more, let's say, cash-rich brands out there are doing.
How scary is it at times to be responsible for such an iconic brand?
A 143-year-old brand, I won't lie, it keeps me awake sometimes at night when things aren't going the way you want. It's been a pleasure. I've been here 3.5 years, and over that time, we have been the growing brand at the cost of the multinationals. But you do take on a fair burden. This is a brand that's been here for 143 years, so you want to make sure that when you make those decisions, you make them right. But you don't want to be so safe that you don't take any bold decisions. You take the easy choice, because the mediocrity is how great brands can also die. So how do you manage that? You have a fantastic team around you. I'm very lucky. Here in Adelaide, because it's such a great lifestyle, we get a lot of people who go interstate to build their career, but then they come on back because they want to come back and settle down. So I've managed to build a team with some of these individuals that are brilliantly talented, so they have my back. So when I need to ask them a question, when I'm feeling a little uncertain, I can go and get some great advice from people who know the brands just as well as I do.
Thank you so much for joining us, Hugh, and everyone go out and check out Bickford's and support South Australian made. And until next time, stay inspired. For more inside marketing videos, head to newstylemedia.com.au.